I remember being places and it'd be like, hey, Amos. Amos, like Amos. Amos Folbo. Like, he's here. Like, oh.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
But I can imagine, first of all, the pressure of being young and being in business, which you don't know, like how to do and everything.
Totally. 80% awesome because you're just young and on top of the world. Like, I felt like I was living my dream. Now, in my 40s, like, I'm still dealing with some of those pressures, or having to be perfect for everybody, or having to live up to a standard that is honestly like almost impossible to be, that perfect. But you really don't know that when you're a kid. Speaking of facial expressions, so we were at Las Vegas for a trade show one time, and we were trying to get ride snowboards to should we start this?
We're kind of started.
Okay. Anyways,
he's just doing this.
So we were going to ride snowboards, and we were trying to get them to convince to sell to us. Like, they just like wouldn't sell to us. We were like too small, like. And we finally got opportunity to like meet them in person. And the rep was like, we're waiting at the booth. We're there early. We're checking stuff out, and the rep was like with these like clearly some foreign big people, meeting with them about stuff, and they're like taking their time, like saying goodbye and doing all that stuff, and we're like, okay, we're 10 minutes over than our time, so we're just like waiting, and they're just like giving these guys all the time in the world, right? And I'm just like, because they just don't care like that we're in there, And my buddy Sissio, who was helped me along at the shop, he was partnered with me later on in the shop, and he was like kind of the numbers guy and kind of stressed, and he was just like, okay, we got to really like, we're going to bring them the numbers, we're going to show them the stuff, blah, blah, blah. And he's like all being serious, and so like that was the vibe, like this is like high stakes. And the guy was like saying goodbye to these guys, and he's like, yeah, my next ones are probably here, and he started like looking around a little bit like this. And then I saw him like look at my name tag, and then he looked up at me, and I just went, like just huge, like just a big wink, like we're here. And he lost it. He was just like okay, just like totally shifted one gear to another gear, and we ended up getting the account clearly, but that was just like a total facial expression kind of a moment, and Sissio about killed me, but I was also just stoked because like literally that's like my personality that came out. It's pretty funny. So yeah.
You need me to clap.
How long ago was that?
That was probably 2001, maybe 2002. Yeah, over 20 years ago, Nolan. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
pretty fun.
Nolan grew up in Washburn, and I grew up in Hazen.
Yes.
And in both places.
Yes.
In high school, people would be wearing Amos 50 shirts, like bigger than Nike. It was.
Yeah.
And it was like that, very much a cool thing, but Amos, the name behind it was something of a mythical creature.
Yeah.
And that's you. You've been doing, you're a creative. You are an adventure seeker. How did it start, man? Where did you get started? And how have you been like the same mythical creature for all these years doing big things?
Not to pump you up too much.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, thank you for that. But also,
I know you now.
Yeah.
But back then,
yeah,
I didn't know who you were except that.
Yeah, that was honestly, that time in my life was like really crazy. Like starting Amos 50, having the board shop on Main Street at 16 was like pretty unheard of, which was kind of crazy. And my dad, just being like the awesome dad that he was just like, what do you want to do with your life? That would be cool. Okay, sweet. Instead of buying a car, yeah, you could like buy snowboards and then just like sell them to people. And that would be cool, right? And I'm like, yeah, that would be sick. Let's do that. And I was like, help me. How do I do that? And he's like, I have no idea. He's like, call somebody, Mm-hmm. And I've told this story on other podcasts, but like, that's basically it. Like the opportunity, Dad was just like, just simply ask somebody like who has a board shop, call, ask for help, see what you can learn. But the pressure of like being a kid that young in those formative times of your life is like pretty crazy. Like I was a great kid, fun, outgoing kid, but like the fact that you were like getting your driver's license and like getting PGOs at at Dan's supermarket, which was Dan's supermarket at the time, at 8, 9 o'clock at night after closing the store. And like you would literally be in the hallways like looking for stuff, and you would hear moms like in the next aisle over, and they're like, oh, Amos is over there, like he's such a good kid, blah, 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 blah. He's like, to have that, it was really fun and cool, but it also like became this huge pressure to like, whoa, like people are really paying attention, and people are like listening or have an eye on you, which I never really conceptualized that until kind of that moment. And it was like a weird added pressure to just life in general. To stay true to who I was very, very, very important to me. Like I've always just been unapologetically, Amos, like wearing what I want and being who I am. And sometimes it would just be easier if I wasn't, like doing youth ministry or working in different places. Like if I was just a little bit more approachable, not approachable, but like a little bit more normal, right? Like I might be more easily approachable or feel more accessible, because I didn't realize that I was being inaccessible until later in life. Like also friends or people would be like, oh man, I thought you were like this person, but clearly if you know me, it's like, this is just standard.
There is absolutely that was I mean, I remember being places and it'd be like, hey, Amos, Amos, like Amos 5-0, like he's here, like, oh
yeah,
what does that mean?
yeah.
But I can imagine, first of all, the pressure of being young and being in business, which you don't know, like,
yes,
how to do and everything.
Totally.
So that probably feels like a weird amorphous like pressure.
Yeah.
Not even knowing what threats lie ahead.
Totally.
And then also being just young and learning who you are.
Yes.
That seems it's unusual, but it seems difficult in its own way.
Yeah. It was 90%, well, no, let's say 80% awesome, because you're just young and on top of the world, and just doing everything that you could dream of. Like that's like, I felt like I was living my dream. But also now in my 40s, like I'm still dealing with some of those pressures, or having to be perfect for everybody, or having to live up to a standard that is honestly like almost impossible to be, that perfect. But you really don't know that when you're a kid,
because people externally built this is who Amos is.
Yeah.
And so you see what they built, and you feel like you need to be that.
Yeah, or at least not crush it. Like I would let people have their own views of me, which is fine, but most of the time I was like, that's there's how do I want to say it? Like there was a view of me that I knew I didn't want to hinder, because what I wanted to do more than anything was like just be a good example. Like I wanted to be everything that I knew that God designed me to be, and who I was designed to be was to be me. So I really fought to just be me to the best of my ability, to try to point to something that's bigger or better. But also in some of that, you take on some of these responsibilities that aren't even your responsibilities, or does that make sense?
Like I can relate.
Yeah.
Outside
totally.
of the celebrity part, like child celebrity, you know what I mean? Like people weren't saying, "Hey, Brian's here," but people were always saying, "Brian's a good kid."
Yeah.
And so you think about that.
Yeah.
I'm a good kid, so I better do this perfectly.
Yes.
Because I don't want to destroy their image of me.
Yes. But then also on the other side of things, it gave me, to me, it's that, yes, and it also gave me like the drive to then be me. Like it gave me the drive, or like the permission.
Okay.
Just like if people are looking, or if people are looking for an example, or people are judging or doing whatever, like they can judge all they want, but watch how good this is going to be. Like this is going to be awesome. Like I'm going to have fun. I'm going to build my dreams. I'm going to wear whatever I want. Because like being in North Dakota, like no joke, having a store, and the industry itself was going at a good clip, because skate industry has always been fashion forward. Like it always has been progressive, like a little bit faster than even like a lot of fashion. So skate industry, like people were wearing baggy pants before baggy pants were even close to the radar. So I would be getting baggy pants in because that's the hottest thing that's selling right now. And it would take North Dakota like 3 years before it would like catch up. So then my stuff would be on sale and I would be wearing it before. So people thought I was crazy, but I was just like, no, this is just like, this is what people wear. Like, I'm just having fun. But then of course I always wanted to like put my own spin on things, you know, or kind of just create my own existence as far as like how I like to just dress or do whatever. Mm-hmm. But it kind of was just like, I can be who I want to be. Therefore, I want to be an example so that you can be who you were supposed to be. Like, don't try to be me. Like, if you try to be Amos, like, that's going to be a drag. Like, you're not going to like it. You know, I was at the gas station on the way here, and this kid, we were just chatting, like, just, hey, how's it going? How's your day going? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's going pretty good. I'm kind of bored, you know, but it's going good. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm sure it gets monotonous and stuff here. And he's like, totally. It does get very monotonous. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, do you like fishing? And I was like, nope. and he goes, how about football? And I was like, strike again. And he goes, well, I guess we can't be friends. And I was like, probably not true. I was like, do you like snacks? Because I was buying snacks. And he's like, oh, yeah, I love snacks. And I was like, do you like energy drinks? And he's like, yeah, I got this Red Bull, whatever. And I like had this. And I was like, and he goes, I guess we're friends. And I said, perfect, you know. But just like giving people the permission to, I don't have to like football. I don't have to do whatever. But can we still be friends? Can we still, like, can I still encourage you not to be like, yeah, that sucks to be you, bro. But like, no, like, how can you just be you and just like own that? And that still gives me permission to be me. I don't have to be like you to be friends. Like, just be you, dude. Like,
okay. I love everything that you're saying. Yeah. You were 16 when you had these ideas, or, I mean,
yes, kind of.
Okay.
But it even started before the shop. Like that mindset switch, to be who I was supposed to be switched before even the shop.
Okay.
Like that was like early adolescence, me being a homeschool kid, having like a pretty tight knit of friends. But when you're a homeschool kid, you kind of just hang out with other homeschool kids. And there's, you know, a lot of my homies were super into basketball. And that's like when basketball was like starting to come up hard and heavy. I mean, Michael Jordan, I mean, we're talking like, basketball is culturally huge. And so I'm kind of on the outside, like riding dirt bikes and even skateboarding, but before skateboards were like really like cool. I just like going fast, and they were like basketball. Like I just wanted to like basically go fast, and I'm still pretty much like that, which is kind of why Brandon Loftus calls me Turbo. He's like, "Hey, Turbo." But that started because like all my friend group were like really into all this sort of stuff. And when you're young, like 13, 14, you're just trying to figure out like who you are as a person. I woke up one morning and I was a pretty lonely kid because I was homeschooled. I was a very an outgoing kind of a kid. So when I was at home and like doing my schoolwork, getting all my stuff done, getting dressed, all that sort of stuff. It was just kind of like, it was like the humdrum thing that I had to do until like after school. And then I was like, okay, now I can go play with my friends, or I can go ride dirt bikes or jump on trampolines or all that sort of stuff. So like getting ready for the day, I was just like, ugh. You know, like I hate having to go to school. I hate doing all this stuff. But like at that age, I remember just being like bummed. And I remember getting up out of bed, walking to my closet, opening up my closet, and I was like, my clothes are all color coordinated, and I had lots of baseball caps. Like all my friends wore baseball caps, and I've just started wearing caps or lots of fun different hats just the last couple of years. But like I didn't wear hats before that. I kind of just wore it because like that's what my friends were wearing, you know. But all my hats were like meticulous, and I opened my closet and I just like looked at it, and then I looked at it. And then I flipped through it, and I literally just stood there and I looked at it and I was like, I honestly would not choose to wear any of this. Like I like who I am, like what I want. Like I wouldn't honestly want to wear any of this. And it was just like this light bulb moment. Like, what am I doing? You know, like,
Mom!
no joke. Like that's literally my next move. Mom, can we go shopping? And my mom's like, well, yeah, like let's go shopping. Like it wasn't, a hindrance, you know, like they were like, yeah, sure.
Okay, I without like making it more dramatic than maybe it was, but I could see how that would be a really lonely place to be, because it's a high ideal to know who you are or individuate at all, because everyone's wearing Chicago Bulls jersey.
Right.
And so you're doing something different, and different is lonely. And so then you would, like normal kids would be like, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to slip back into the group, you know, just to conform.
Yeah.
But what do you account for or attribute that longevity, or maybe just the ability to stick with it and be like you, and then start a business at 16? Like how did that happen?
Yeah. I think it worked because, this is a good question. I'll tell you why it worked. It worked because I stepped into it and I was like, well, what would I want? And my mom's like, well, what do you want? And I was like, I want these big baggy jeans, you know? And she's like, well, that's kind of ridiculous. And, you know, my folks were amazing, awesome Christian family and pretty conservative. So like, they don't want me to like be this wild, crazy kid. And like to them, you know, you're just kind of worried as a parent. You're just like, well, which direction is this going to go? Like a healthy, probably, you know, a little hesitant. But my mom's like, okay, yeah, sure. We'll get you these baggy pants. You can kind of tell that she's like, I'm not sure, but okay. Baggier other shirts, you know, and different things. Like bought a few different pieces and spent like a decent amount of money. And we were definitely not a rich family. Like things were tight back then when growing up. And, decent amount of money, and I remember bringing them home and they were brand new, and I cut the bottom off right away and like threw them in the wash to like fray the ends. And like my mom's face was just like, oh no, and wasn't too stoked about it. But then wearing them and then wearing the clothes, like I felt awesome. like I just felt way more at home. Like I felt way more at home than I did, you know, in the jerseys and all that sort of stuff. So I think like even walking into the gym or meeting up with friends after that, like even though that there was like a look or it was weird, like you could just tell, like it was just confidence. It felt normal. It was just fun. It was like fun, healthy expression. Like, you know, which is like what you want as a kid, is like trying to figure out who you are and how God designed you to be in order to just like express yourself in those ways. Like not everyone's supposed to enjoy fishing and hunting. You know, not everyone's going to be an adrenaline junkie. Not everyone's going to be introverted or extroverted or whatever. Like just to step into that, to just like my folks were so awesome and just letting me be me in the constructs of what was healthy and secure and not, you know, wild. Like they didn't want me running around being wild with a bunch of wild kids, but like my folks would let me stay out later than a lot of my other people that I knew, because they trusted me, and my friends were good. Like they were good people, they were fun people. So like it wasn't a downfall for me to have self-expression. It was like letting Amos like lift his training wheels a little bit. Right? Like it was just like, let him go a little faster. Let him just see if he can figure this out. Let's just make sure that he stays on his rails, but just let Amos be. And to have that kind of momentum, I think carries into your like friendships. And they're just like, Amos, I mean, everyone still to this day is just like, well, that's just Amos.
Well, are you like naturally more of a leader type? Because I mean, the tribalism in an elementary school, when someone differentiates and then it's like, we're going to tease this kid mercilessly until he conforms back with the group, which I think is why everyone's the same. Sure. In those younger years. And then we have to get into like why you started the shop.
Sure. I think maybe there was a natural leadership. Maybe there was just also just a fairly healthy like confidence in who I was. But also like I was a dyslexic kid, so I didn't really fit in with the education thing. I didn't really fit in with sports. So it's like it was natural for me to be independent anyways. Like it like didn't work. And I think being dyslexic, having some of those things helped me to be like, well, I'm definitely not like this, or I'm definitely not from here, or my teachers aren't too stoked about that, but they love me as a kid, but they are like, oh, this kid is just like, this is so hard, you know? And I think that hardship let me lean into like, yeah, I'm not good at this, but I can fly over here. So like, just like, let me fly.
Yeah.
Does that kind of make sense?
Absolutely.
Sort of? Yeah.
What was the idea? I want to sell.
The idea of the board shop?
Yeah.
Okay. That was my dad. I got to give my dad credit. So we were on a snowboard trip. Actually, we started out, my dad is huge into hunting, fishing, and all that sort of stuff. And he was an all-American football player. Like he was a national wrestler. Like the dude is like, at his college, his name is up on the wall. Like he is like a major football kind of person, you know? And it's pretty funny because I went to my dad's college like a couple years ago and spoke about entrepreneurship to a lot of people. Like the college invited me there. I never went to college, or actually I never went to college, period. And that was just like a really cool moment. But anyways, so my dad was like, hey, I have my son. My son is growing up. Like, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to take him.
This will be you one
This
day.
will be you. You can like, let me give you the world. Let me show you like how cool this could be. I have a playmate. Like my dad he's just kind of like me, just great at playing, love it, great at connection. And he was like, I'm taking my son to Bozeman, Montana. We're going to go fly fishing, or just fishing in the Gallatin, which is like where the river runs through it, like that area. Like Bozeman's beautiful, so he's like, salmon are spawning, or trout, or whatever the frick, I don't know. Fish are good at this time.
Fish are good.
Yeah, exactly. So fish are good. I'm gonna take him. We're gonna have this awesome experience. He takes me there, and he sees me just like wandering up and down the banks after like a half hour because I just can't stay focused. It's just so boring. And after 4 or 5 hours, you know, it's now 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and he's just like, all right, how about if I take you snow skiing? And I like never even thought about snow skiing. And he's like, let me just take you snow skiing. And it was like the best. How going so fast, watching terrain, being on chairlifts, like this is insane. You know, like it was just so cool as a young kid. And then the next day, my dad being like, okay, but tomorrow we're gonna go fishing and we're gonna like tough it out and it's gonna be great. And you know, I knew the bargain, so I showed up and I was quiet and I was chill, but I didn't. After an hour, the pole was on the ground and I'm just kind of like chilling, you know, kind of just doing whatever. And he's like, if we leave right now, we'll get first chair, you know? So that trip, like my dad leaned into it, just be like, okay, he likes going fast. So he skied with me and we just went. And so the fishing trip ended up being the ski trip, which eventually ended up being the snowboard trip because I like to skate and skating is really cool and snowboarding is like coming up. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm not doing this, you know? So he was like, okay, I guess that's how it is. And coming back from one of those trips, father-son trip, and I'm not sure if we had other people in the car, but anyways, it was late. We're driving back home because we're saving money. We're going to ski all day. Then we're going to drive all through the night and get home. Cause again, things weren't there wasn't tons of money, and we're driving through the night and my dad just like trying to keep me awake. Cause I'm just sleeping, tired, angsty little kid. Like I'm just, whatever, it'll be fine. Like you chose to drive home this late. Like you drive, I'll sleep. And he just needs someone to talk to. And he's just like, hey, you know, if you could do anything with your life, what would you do? And I was just like, I don't know. And he's like, no, seriously. Like if you could do anything with your life, what would it be? You know? And I'm just like laying there in the front car seat. And I was just like, oh man, what would I do? He's like, he got me, because now my brain's going. And I was like, I would want to be a professional snowboarder. And I was like, but they don't make any money. Or a professional skateboarder, but they also don't make any money. And I was like, I don't want to be broke. Okay. And I was like, I would have a board shop, because it's basically the same thing. Like you could do all this stuff. Like I loved gear. I loved fashion. I loved technology, like how things were made. I loved just the scene of it all. I loved that it was just such a communal sport, because it was so individual, but yet there was so much self-expression. So I was just drawn to it like crazy. And so I just rolled over to my dad and I was like, if I could do anything, I would open a board shop. I was like, that would be so sick. I was like, that's what I do. I'd open a board shop. And he's like, cool, you should. That'd be sick. How many snowboards do you think you would need? And I was like, I don't know. And I'm going to go back to bed. And he's like, no, seriously. Like, how many do you think you would need? And da-da-da. And he's like, go get the calculator. Get the calculator out of my bag. And like, we got a calculator out of the bag. And we were like, he was just helping me dream. He's like, what would you do? How many would you need? How many pairs of gloves? How many like this? Would you sell skateboards too? And he's like, okay, let's add this all up. Let's write it all down. Like, we're just killing time going down the road and dreaming and chatting and talking about stuff. And then like you hit enter, like, and it was like, you know, I can't remember at the time, it was like $8,000 or something. And I was just like, well, good night. You know, like a 14, 15-year-old kid. It was like,
it's more money than I can comprehend.
So insane.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and now thinking back, it's like, oh geez. I mean, even in the 90s, like that wasn't that much money, you know?
To start a business.
Start a full on, like, and I was dreaming, you know,
Right.
like, oh yeah, we could do this. And that sparked it to just being like, you could do this, you know, or this would be a possibility. And then by the time we pulled into the driveway, we never talked about it again. Until I was like baling cardboard. My dad's an entrepreneur, so he he sold food to grocery stores, and grocery stores are getting rid of cardboard. So my dad decided these guys are throwing out a lot of cardboard. So I'm going to buy a cardboard compressing machine. I'll put my son in the shop. I'll get all this cardboard for free. Amos will be over there crushing cardboard. I'll pay him to do that. And then he can make money on this free cardboard. Good job, Dad. You know, but if you're a 15-year-old kid in the middle of the summer in a metal building, crushing cardboard all summer, what are you thinking about? Skating, snowboarding, and what if I had a snowboard shop? Like, how cool would that be? And it just like went. It just was relentless in the brain. Like, just like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool. Until I finally went into his office and said, I want to do it.
Sir?
Yeah. yeah. Like, I want to do it. And it was just simply like, I want to do it. And he's like, do what? And I was like, I think I want to do the board shop. And he was just like, didn't even bat an eye. He was just like, cool. He's like, yeah.
Did you know the name of it?
You should do it. Huh?
Did you know the name?
No. My dad made me use my name.
Really?
Yeah. I did not want my name on something. Are you kidding me? No. My dad was like, oh, your grandpa had his name. My grandpa's name was Jewel, and he had the Jewel Egg Company, which eventually was Jewel Distribution, food distribution. So he's like, your grandpa had such a cool, unique name. And he's like, you got a unique name? He's like, you got to use your name. Like, you got to use your name. Like, that would just be sweet. And I was like, no, I don't really want to. I was trying to come up with stuff. And he's like, basically, like, that was one of his things. It's just like, dude, you just need to do it. And at the time, it was like 5-0 grinds were like part of a skateboard grinding. And then like Hawaii 5-0 and like all this stuff kind of made me think of like 5-0 and like the numbers, like 8-ball clothing, and there's just all these numbers that were affiliated to a lot of stuff. And I was like, Amos 5-0. I was like, okay, yeah, you know. And I think Blink-182 might even been out at the time. You know, it's just like one of those things where it's just like, I'm just gonna add 5-0 because it kind of ties to like board shop, surf culture, you know, grinds, like all this sort of stuff. So it was just like Amos 5-0 was how it kind of just took off.
And you were 16?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I started selling before I turned 16 out of my car and out of my bedroom. So I was like slinging stuff out of and I didn't buy a car. I had money saved up, and my dad said whatever money I was willing to invest into the shop that he was willing to invest too, which was also a big deal because he also wasn't like rolling in it, you know? So I was like, all money in, let's double the money. So I drove my folks' old Cadillac, and that was just fine. And I would just sling skate stuff out of the back of out of the car. I remember delivering a skateboard to Nick Ybarra. We all know Nick Ybarra from Save the Monahey, and Nick's awesome. Like when he was a little whippersnapper, delivering a skateboard to his house pre-actual building, you know, like selling board shop stuff.
But I mean, for North Dakota and for a 15, 16-year-old, it took off. Did it surpass expectations? Was it right in line? Was it like not enough because you're a kid who's dreaming about being not a celebrity, a professional snowboarder? Like where was it, and where did it land, and where did it take you?
It took me all over. My perspective is I loved the marketing side of things. I loved the promotion of things. That's naturally who I am. And aesthetically, like I love the aesthetics of stuff and how things look. And if I'm passionate about something, it's easy for me to just talk about, you know, like it's easy for me to promote all my friends. It's easy for me to promote other companies. Like, it's just like, I'm like a constant pusher of like things that I love and want, you know, like I'm a great promoter. So it was just very easy to be excited about stuff. So I feel like and before I even opened the door, I had Amos 5-0 board shop shirts, you know, like I remember having a skate team and snowboarders, like I gave them snowboards. Like the most influential snowboarder that I knew was my cousin. And I was like, you now ride for me. Like I will give you this. You will talk about it. You will do whatever. And they're like, well, yeah, like, so to have him be stoked that this is happening. And then same with like people who I saw who were passionate about it, that cared about it like I did, I just gave them opportunity to be who they were. And like basically just like, dude, let's do this. Like, let's just build the hype on this. Dusty Anderson, who's a local dude here too, he came into the board shop and he told me this years later. He's like, I got the flyer because there was this guerrilla marketing. Like this is in the 90s, guerrilla marketing, handing out flyers all over the place. He's like, I got the flyer. I was so stoked for opening day. I came to the board shop and I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. He's like, I literally told my friends, I was like, let's come back for the going out of business sale. Like literally it was so bad because it was one room. Like the board shop started in a single room in this Quonset on Main Street. Like it was, it was one step. Like it was just one step, but the hype was there. And like, it was just loving the community that loved what I loved. Like, how do I support that? And that just continued to amplify. And I always had a skate team, always going through. I still love all of those boys. I'm still connected to a lot of them. I think it helped them be who they wanted to be. I just think I had wakeboarders who were like going to Missouri because they got signed on by a board company and we're in Missouri and like in big competitions and like, we just invested back into the community. Now, on the other side of things, you don't make a lot of money selling snowboards.
Yeah.
Like you don't, even talking to my dad recently, it was just like, yeah, that was tough. Like there were some years where we just wouldn't get snow. And like, my dad's like, he paid out of pocket to like help instead of like
through the mild North Dakota winter.
Yeah, because like it's like farming. Like all of a sudden one year it was like great and then the next year it was garbage. So like it would be super good and super bad. So it did what it was supposed to do, but it wasn't a thing that was like gangbusters, making a bunch of money. Like it was learning like, oh man, if I hold this board longer, then it's depreciating, but yet I want to not lose a bunch of money. So it was like, I would hold on to product too much. And then I would, get knowledge from other retailers. And they're like, nah, dude, you got to just give it away if you have to. Because if it sits here for 2 years, it looks bad. It cheapens everything else. And I'm like, what? Like I had to learn all these lessons. So it was not this crazy, super successful, making a bunch of money kind of a thing. It was like, we loved what we loved. We loved people. And we just wanted to be part of the culture. And that's what made it flourish, but it never was like this gangbuster thing.
Sure.
And then eventually when you want to get married and you want to like move forward in life, you're like, this is not enough,
Yeah, it's a season.
Yeah, this is
so
not, yeah.
what did you learn about like Amos and where you were going through that season?
I'm going to take a second. Let me think about that. What did I learn about Amos? As an adult, I've learned different things, but I think in that moment of time, I think it taught me that if you genuinely care about people and you're genuinely trying to serve people well and you're always trying to do right by them, you're who you were as a person and what your name stood for was so invaluable. Like my dad always said, he's like, a good name is better than great riches, like that's scripture. And it was just like, dude, if I could mess up and I'd have to own it. You know, you have to figure it out. Like, you just, part of being a human, even now in my 40s, is like learning how to clean up. Like, I can make mistakes, things can go wrong, but how do I clean up? How do I learn? How do I grow? How do I accept that I didn't see the thing that I thought I knew? And how do I clean up? Like, cleaning up is really what makes you an awesome human. Not that you can be perfect. There's only been one of those, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's only been one. So how do I just clean up?
That's good.
I don't think I realized a lot of that. Now looking back, I see that. Like, be true who you are, serve people, take care of people. Like, we were never the people, like, I would tell the employees, and I would always like push this, was like, it's not about selling boots. It's not about upselling. It's about loving people, caring for people, and seeing what they want. It's reading between the lines. Like, I'm looking for this kind of a product. I'm looking for this board, instead of just the hype of the new Drake carbon bindings that are like $400 and they're like excited about it. And I'm like, sure, I can sell that to you if you wanted. Do you want to spend that much money? What are you planning on doing with it? Where are you planning on going? How often are you going to be riding? And just being like working with people rather than maybe they weren't even interested in that binding, right? They're just like interested in getting in the sport. Instead of pushing like, this is the best, this is the sickest thing, and it can be the biggest ring. Like, what is a way that we can serve them and like hear them, and like everything from boots to bindings to boards, and how they see the world and where they're going to go and how often they're going to ride, and like how would that calculate as far as a budget, and like how can they be the most successful that they can be out on the slope, which led to like pretty much everything in life. Is like, how do you hear people sometimes between the lines of like what they're looking for, where they're going, what they want to do, and how do I help them get there?
Because today you are a coach.
Because today I am a coach, right? Yeah, a consultant with people. But like that mentality, I think, really helped, because I would listen to people really heavily, and it became a safe place. Like, the board shop was a safe place. Like, people still will text me and be like, oh my gosh, this, you know, that was such a sweet time. Or I remember being at, we were at the Blarney Stone or something years ago, and a kid came over, like, who's not a kid, it was like full on adult now, and was just like, dude, Amos, this is so amazing, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know. I mean, we'd have people coming in all the time, you know? And like, I had a couch in there. I had a table and chair. Like, I had a thing that kids could microwave stuff. Like, kids would just hang out there. Like, we were just, it was more than just, it was like a clubhouse. It was like a safe place that people could come to. And that was a huge part of the shop too, is like, it was safe. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. So this guy came up to me at the bar and just like, dude, it's so good seeing you. And then he looked at my wife and he's like, this guy saved my life. Like, this guy, you know, did da, 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 and just like said all these nice things. I don't remember what it was, because I'm just like, oh geez, whatever, you know. And was just like, yeah, this guy saved my life, is amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then he left and was like, it was good seeing you. And I'm like, okay, like, I hardly got a word in, you know, because you're like at Blarney Stone, like I didn't get to ask questions or hardly anything. And Carly goes, oh wow, that was so nice. She's like, who's that? And I was like, like, no idea. But the point wasn't to sell boots. The point wasn't to make a ton of money. The point was like, how can we serve people, and how could we do that in the, like, as a, like, that was my heart. You know, it's like, to love Bismarck. Like, how could we make Bismarck awesome? You know, and I think that has never changed.
And it seems like that informed all of the other things that you've done.
Totally.
Up to today, when you're like consulting and helping people, you're reading between the lines, and people's issues, people's like, what am I going to do with my life? Is that the kind of questions that people are asking you? Or
oh man, it's everything from what do I do with my life? Or my life is like just hard.
Not
like
where I want to be
yeah,
right now,
like,
Amos.
I mean, man, it's so interesting to be a consultant. Like, I love it so much because I get to be with people in some of their messiest times, or the times where they're the most stuck or unsure of like what's next. Like everything from artists like from Nashville who are kind of just stuck in a loop and not sure what they want to do, or they're just having a hard time with some stuff, and I want to like protect all my people, right? So I'm not gonna like share a bunch of stuff to other creatives out in Seattle, to local guys who are like out in Williston that they're really good at providing for their family. They're really willing to like give up their time, give up their energy to be a good dad. But then when they come home, like they're not the best husband and they're not the best dad because they weren't really taught that, because they weren't raised that way. Like the way that I show love is like I provide, I take care, I do these things, like I'm trying my hardest. But when your wife is like going, no, but I need to know you, I need you to be kind and love your kid, and just like, this sucks. Like I feel like I'm a villain, but I'm just doing my best, to be with that guy who's just like, well, yeah, dude, like you were not designed, but like life has shown you like this is what love is. This is how life should work. And if you're not equipped or seen anything different, how are you supposed to know? Like so often in culture, we're taught like how to be resilient and how to be strong and to go to war and to kill it in war and just shove it all down. But then you come home and it's just like no one's really pushing to be a dad and to be a really good husband. Like, how do I kick as much butt as I would for my wife as I would out there against the enemy? Like, am I willing to do that much time? And how am I going to do that for my kids? How am I going to do that for my community? And a lot of times that doesn't happen unless we actually look at it for ourselves. Like, I need to come home. Right? Like I can't just bring the same mentality in and try to like run my wife like I would a war, or run my kids like I would a war, because I'm going to be determined to, right? It's like between the lines. Like, it's not like they're a bad person. No one's, more often than not, I've never met with someone who is like intentionally trying to be bad or evil, or like they're literally coming because they're just like, bro, like I'm trying my best here and it feels like I'm speaking Japanese and like she's not understanding, they're not understanding. It's like they didn't have the tools to understand themselves. Like, oh, I need to be a safe place. I don't need to be so on guard, like coming into my home. Like I can actually give and receive love and still be a warrior. It's not like we're telling people to not be awesome or not to accomplish or be a provider or to, like we're all have different kind of giftings, right? Every person's going to be different that comes and sits at the table with me, like, or Zoom, mostly Zoom. But people are willing to just, I'm not meeting with people to take away that they're a warrior.
Right.
That's not what we're doing here. We're realizing like, yeah, being a warrior has actually got you to where you are today. You got the wife, you have the house, you have the job, you got the stuff because of who you are. That's good.
Yeah. Well done.
That's awesome. Well done. Congratulations. Also, that's not serving you well in some way. So how do we add? Like basically come hang out and we'll like sit and figure out like how do we actually find sixth gear? Like this isn't or fifth gear. Like we didn't know that we were driving a 6-speed when we were been in 4th gear, bouncing the rev limiter off, trying to use all the things that we know right now to its extent. And I'm getting frustrated and like things don't seem to get working when like, oh, God actually designed me to also be X. And that's finding that other gear. Mm-hmm. Like, let's find, and then it's like, oh my gosh, the rev limiter came down. What I have capacity, what I can receive more and learn more. And like, I'm better for my wife. I'm better for my kids. I'm better for my company. I'm better for all these things because I didn't know. And I didn't take the time because I was so busy. Like, that was my life. Like, I grew my life, you guys, to a point where I was like flying all over the world, literally all over the world taking photos.
Yes.
I mean, from Australia to Jamaica to all over, like top of our game, and having Airbnbs and having a studio rental and being in ministry for 20 years. Like, I was good at going fast, building things, but I didn't know that I was burning my wife out. I didn't know that it was important for me to like wonder what I want instead of like what I think everybody else needs, or like I could slow down to be seen and to be known. You know, like I remember 5 years ago, I was like, I was surrounded by a lot of people, but I didn't have like deep friends because I was going so fast.
So broad, not deep.
Like just, oh, what am I doing? Like, and for me, it was like I was basically still like in 6th gear, like just bouncing off the rev limiter. You know?
What is that balance? I mean, like, so if you're being fully, authentically you, and you are creative and you're capable, and if you just had all of the energy and everything else, you could do something huge. I mean, you could build a huge tower at the expense of this.
Yes.
And the people around you. How do you know what that balance is, and when you've struck the balance or when you've gone too far?
I would say this came to me when I was meeting with one of my clients, and he is like that person, very aggressive, hardworking, one of the best in the industry, nationwide, like just good at what he does.
He must get up very early in the morning.
Right, yeah. And he probably hot saunas, and he probably, cold plunges and does a bunch of different things, like, because that's what makes you successful. No, that's not true.
Cold plunging makes you successful.
Yes.
Brian has a sauna.
Yeah, Brian has a sauna. Boo. No, saunas are great and everything. This is just like
That's the guy. Yeah. I've seen him on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
I know the type.
No, but this client, he kills. Like he's an amazing dude. But this analogy came when we were just like together, and for me it was like a light bulb moment, and it was actually probably as much for me as it was for him, which is beautiful, is like this analogy of being on a yacht, or maybe not a yacht, just like a really huge boat, like massive boat, like double decker. Yeah, it'd probably be yacht. And you're, well, when I think yacht, I think like hotel size, like, but not quite that big.
The point is,
it's a big boat.
It's a big freaking boat, okay? It's a boat that you ride on, and it floats, and it's big, okay? That's what I'm trying to say.
okay, I think I got it.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. And you're on the boat. You've worked so hard to like build this boat. Like I can afford it. I finally have it. And we're still moving forward. We're going to do great things. Like, we're going to go to this next place. So you put your family on the boat. You put all your friends on the boat, because now you can create these amazing experiences, and you're going to share it with them, and it's going to be awesome. And you get on the boat, and your wife like has everything set up, and the kids are we're going to have a bunch of fun, and we're going to go to this beach somewhere, and we're going to spend a great day, and it's going to be awesome. And you get on the boat, and me and probably my client and probably a lot of people is like, okay, here we go. Everyone on the boat, we're going to get stuff done. We're going to get on top of it. We're going to go, and then we're going to floor it. And we're just going to like cruise, because then we're going to get to the beach, because then when we get to the beach, it's going to be fun. So here we go. And everyone's on the boat, and you're flooring it through life, just like trying to get to the next thing. And your wife is over there trying to, like, she made this like really nice lemonade and maybe put some mint in it, and like it's like really pretty cool and it's gonna be so fun for everyone, and she's like sloshing it all over the place, like trying to like get it to somebody, and people are trying to drink it, and like people are trying to go use the bathroom and they're like falling all over and like all that sort of stuff. And then as you're going through life, so like, we're creating a great experience. Here we go, guys. It's going to be great.
And you unawares with
and
the
you're
sailor hat, just like,
yeah, and you're just freaking throttling through, and everyone's like, oh, we're so thankful to be here. But it's also like waters in your face, and like, you know, you're like trying really hard. And then not only that, to even make it more interesting is the fact that you're cruising through life doing all these great things, trying to create something awesome, and then there's other people over here in like smaller boats or bigger boats or everything like outside of your world, and I'm going through just like 100 miles an hour, and you know what's happened to people in these other boats? Boo-boosh, boo-boosh, boo-boosh. They're getting sloshed all over the place.
in your wake.
In your wake. And it's not because you weren't trying to do something good. Like, the point is like, I'm trying to do this for my family. I'm trying to do this to do something great, but I haven't learned the lesson to slow down. I haven't learned that what I do creates chaos around me in the world, and it's not bad. It's just important for me to look at it. Like Bob Goff once said, and I thought it was beautiful. He's like, I'm sometimes unaware because Bob's kind of like me. Mm-hmm. And it's really funny because Bob is very much like me, and people have read his books and they'll like text me reading the book and they'll be like, yeah, this is you, bro. Like, this is crazy. You know, I'm just like, ooh. But Bob has said, he's like, sometimes I need to look at who I'm closest to and how I affect them and affect their life, because I can be so driven, or I can have all these like ideas, because Bob was like, if you know Bob's books, it's just like he wants to do all this amazing stuff, but like, how is this affecting my world? And that's what consulting is not I'm bad or I'm evil or this is not working. It's my world isn't working. Like, the people closest to me, it's not working, or my business, something isn't working, and I need to slow down just enough and invite somebody in to go,
That's what we fear. Someone's going to go,
No, but is like where the magic is. If you don't, you're the same. It's
is where like you're naked on stage.
yeah.
And yeah.
That's
scary.
It is very scary. It is super, 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 super scary. To be vulnerable is scary. Especially, it's like, as a human, to be vulnerable is like the opposite of what we want, because then we are vulnerable. Like, we could be taken advantage, or someone could look at it in a different way, in a negative way. It makes sense.
Bob Goff is, his first book was every top bestseller, New York Times bestseller, whatever. And the last page is like, hey, if you got any questions, here's my personal cell phone number. Mm-hmm. Like, awesome. Also, I was just like, is his wife cool with that?
Yeah.
'Cause I know at least two people who called him.
Yeah. I called him.
He knows three people.
Yeah.
Three people who called him, and he'll answer if it's not like on an airplane or something. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking like, well, that's just in my network. That thing's got to be going off the hook.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, maybe it absolutely works for him, because I admire him greatly.
Absolutely.
But I also could see like the wake of
I'm
going to be available for everybody.
Yes.
Who reads my book.
Yep.
On the bestseller list. Mm-hmm. But I could see like family being like, hey, we want some Bob too.
Yeah.
We want some Amos too.
And maybe that's part of the lesson that he learned, is like, this maybe
The second one doesn't have a cell phone number.
Exactly. It's like, what does this cost? Like, this is a great idea, and it is fruitful, and it is producing great things.
Yeah.
But it's also not working, right? And that's kind of the thing with consulting or having a coach or going to a therapist. Is that's the thing, is like what you're doing isn't necessarily like super bad. It's like, how do we just figure out how to tweak it? Like, and it's usually not like, I gotta take a huge 180. It's like, it's like 8%, 2% to see those things. And it's just like, oh, now I see it.
For a lot of
Now I
people
get
especially just talking like culturally here,
Yeah.
the idea of consulting someone else's help is like an admission that I don't have it together, and if anything, I must continue to pretend that it's all together.
Yeah.
So I think that it's shifting a little bit, the stigma or whatever about coaching, counseling, therapy at all.
Yeah.
But what would you say? Because when someone comes up to that point, talking to somebody is this huge impenetrable wall. Like I could see the nerves of someone even writing an email to say like, hey, maybe a one-on-one to like figure some things out. What's a message for someone who's maybe at that point, like some way that they could start thinking about it differently to maybe have some more openness to that idea of bringing on some help?
I would think, just to kind of bring it back to like even just the board shop, it's like my dad's like, I don't know how to help you. Like, that was my dad. He's like, I don't know how to start a board shop. So he's like, call someone. He's like, who do you need to talk to?
Yeah.
To get that way, whether it's business, whether it's life, whether it's relationships, whatever, but to be vulnerable as a little 15-year-old kid with a squeaky voice, to be like, hi, I want to start a board shop in North Dakota, or like, hi, I want to be an international photographer, or I want to start a app that's going to go nationwide. And
at some point your voice changed, but
right. But I think I think there's an invitation, not a like a desperation.
I think that's well put. I mean,
I think
you have a life that you're running. You have to figure it out.
Yes.
But you don't have to figure it out alone.
No, absolutely not. And to invite people into it, not that like I think people think like they're bad. Like, I honestly could not be who I am without other people. Like, I would have never, ever. No, that's probably not true. Maybe I would have. But you know how easy it was for me to start a board shop? Because I made one phone call, and he picked up the phone and he said, cool, that would be neat. You should do that too. How can I help you? How can I listen to and he gave me the world. He gave me the keys to like, here's how you start a board shop. Here's how you do it. Because I invited him into my dream. I invited him into the process. And I've done the same thing over and over. Like, I would not be where I am today without asking people for help. Like, in so many different ways. And sometimes people aren't very accessible. Like, I was so desperate to talk to Rob Deerdeck that I like made this dramatic thing that he couldn't ignore. And then Rob Deerdeck called me because I was desperate enough to go, how am I going to get access to this person to hear what's going on? Because like Rob Deerdeck to me was like, he just did stuff in ways that I never saw before. And I was like, that works. I want to talk to him about it. And it just took a little bit of work. Like, I invited Rob into that by pursuing Rob. I remember hiring my first coach, and North Dakota person, is probably like 15 years ago. It's probably more than that. It's probably 2007, 8. So quite a while ago. Hiring my first coach because people that I really admired in Los Angeles that I paid money for design work, because I didn't feel like the design work here in Bismarck was that great. So I had to find it. Does that mean I couldn't have just asked for help here? I was like, no, I want to ask for help out there. So I asked for help, and they were awesome. And then they're like, well, have you ever thought about coaching? Because maybe you could use some help figuring out. You and Carly have the same conversations that you go in loops about, and you guys can't figure out, like, does Amos go full time with Carly Loves Amos? And we would just go in spirals, and they're just like, invite someone else into this conversation. And I was just like, what? Like, I don't understand. What? And they're like, yeah, you can just pay, like, Adrian. You just I know a guy, Adrian. He's a coach. Like, you can hire him or whatever. He's like, yeah, it's $75, and he'll just sit and talk to you. And I was like, isn't that what friends are for? Like, isn't that what, like? But if I talk to my friends about it, like, oh, I don't know, And I remember he had a free thing, and I got on the phone with him. And after hanging up the phone, like, it was like a light bulb moment. It was just like God just spoke to me and was just like, what's it worth? What's your future worth? Like, you can just keep doing this. You can toil. You can figure it out. You can try to figure it out on your own. Or you could pay $75 and we're going to get straight to the point. And, like, without that conversation, like, I don't know if we would have, and then we've done the same with therapy. We've done the same with ministry, trying to figure out ministry, like, just asking people for help. I would not get to be who I am without asking for help. Like, it's just not real. And I don't get to be 100% Amos and to do those things without asking questions. Or, like, if you wanted to make a movie, you don't just, like, sit at home and think about it. You're like, who am I going to call, or how am I going to, like, go start shooting this for free? Why not do the same when it comes to just life? You're the most important. You're not the right. Like, but there's only one you, and you only have one life. Why not value yourself enough and value what you want to do or you want to become? Like, the reason you're feeling pain, probably about a situation that you're ashamed about, or it sucks, or it hurts, the reason you're feeling that is probably for a good thing. Like, it probably sucks because you love your wife. Let's focus on that. Like, how do we love your wife well? Let's not focus on how bad I suck at it. Let's focus on the reason why this is painful is because I care. There's nothing wrong with caring. Caring's good. Like, pain is like the indicator, right? Like, we know that things aren't working when there's pain. If we didn't know that, we would be numb. And, people who have leprosy, if they're numb, they, like, start losing limbs. We're not going to be numb to our lives. Like, we're just not. Like, if we want to live our lives, like, we're going to feel pain. I make Carly cry. Was it intentional? No. But have I hurt my wife before? Not like hurt her, but, like, she was, like, disappointed because I didn't sell this car, and I said that I was going to sell the car, like, and it was painful for her because she wanted to trust me. And I was like, I didn't think it was a big deal. Like, I just didn't care enough. But to her, it was a thing that showed that, oh, well, he doesn't care. And I'm like, what? Like, you think that I don't care? Like, I just don't care that much about the car, like, I care about you. But, like, where's the pain? If I actually listen to my pain is because it's training me or giving me, like, the next one up to learn why I need to level up. Like, if it's not working, there's a reason why it's not working. It doesn't make me bad. It doesn't make me evil. It doesn't make me, like, whatever. But I don't think God designed us to have pain in order for us to be the same and to live in pain. He's like, no, I want to give you these things. I want to give you, you know, all these things. Like, to be a great human, we learn, we grow, we develop, we figure it out. Like, I'm still not there.
You ever try to avoid pain?
All the time. I'm a professional at avoiding pain. Like,
does it work?
Yeah, it works for a long time. You can avoid pain. I mean, I probably avoided pain. I was probably one of the most disassociated people to pain. I was like a robot. Like, because I was a producer and I was a lover, and not a lover like have sex lover, but like a lover of people. Like, I never let myself slow down or be hurt, because I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just going to keep moving forward. I'm going to just keep going faster. I'm going to keep figuring it out. Like, if I'll bounce back and keep going. Like, I didn't sit with my pain. Like, that was my drug, is like, I wasn't getting better because I was avoiding it. Like, I was avoiding all these pains. So I'll just go faster. I'll just get better. When I actually slow down, then I'm like, oh, here's this. Here's where I'm running this racket. Here's where I'm, you know, like masking things or hiding things to try and, you know, just have fun. Like, I'm a professional at fun. Like, I can kill it when it comes to fun.
And what's the outcome? What's the benefit? Why would people want to go through the pain?
Yeah.
Why not just avoid it their whole lives?
Why not just avoid it? That's a good question. Because there's more. I think usually humans don't want to change unless they're inspired. We're inspired to do, like, we see something and we're inspired to change, or we're desperate for change. Like, it's either inspiration or desperation is like usually kind of the thing. It's just like, this sucks. I don't like this. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck in the corner. I need help, which is fine. But things can get aggressive when you're stuck in a corner. You don't act the best way that you want to act when you're stuck in a corner. And that doesn't mean that you're an angry person. Like, so many people think like, oh, if I'm not an angry person, then I'm still okay. But maybe, you know, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn is like how you act when you're in a tight situation, when you're not regulated. So if you're in that position, maybe you freeze and you just kind of get distant. Mm-hmm. You kind of get cold. You kind of get quiet. And it's the same as lashing out. It's just like, I'm just hiding, you know, or for me, like, I was a fawner, which most people, like, fight, flight, freeze, they don't think about fawn. And I was always like, oh yeah, that's okay. That's totally fine. Like, we'll work it out. You're probably right. Yeah. Carly, you're right. I'm wrong. That's fine. I get it. I'll do better. It's cool. No worries. We're going to keep going. Like, I'm like fawning, mm-hmm. But it's the same pain. It's avoiding. It's not wanting to be part of the situation. And like, if you take the time to actually focus on yourself, you get to realize that you have a fifth gear. You get to realize that you were designed to have sixth gear. You realize that you have capacity when things don't go well, that it isn't a huge reaction, because you actually are more capable to handle the pain. Mm-hmm. You can handle these things that were so bad or overwhelming or crazy or hurtful, and it's just like huge. Like, you have capacity because you have the tools, you have the time, you have the knowledge, you know yourself, you know how to, like, the more I worked on myself, the more I had compassion for other people, like, and just their messiness. Yeah. Like, I just have more compassion, like, oof, that's got to be tough. You know, like, I had more capacity because I gave myself the time.
You're not overwhelmed by your own stuff. You have capacity now.
You have more capacity and compassion, because you're just like, oof. Like, I don't judge that person. Like, that guy's such a dick. Like, what a dick. Rather than like, whoa, I wonder why that guy's such a dick. Like, honestly,
Which is
like
an
what
important
happened?
shift.
Yeah,
And,
like what happened? Totally.
I mean, I could see how the board shop, like the couch in the board shop,
Yeah.
like that's still a part of your life.
Dude, 10,000 hours on that couch for sure. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, it's still like there. I mean, you've given me a couch in your life, and the story of someone seeing you at Blarney Stone, you know, that you don't maybe even remember, something that just rings true to, you know, who I know you are.
Sure.
But as you're looking into the future, maybe obituary style. What is that? What's said of you? What do you hope? You can say that one.
I would hope that people would say he saw me. That it wasn't because of my status, or it wasn't because of who I was, but I just felt seen, and that I felt safe. That like I got to know and love Nolan because it's just Nolan. Like, I got to love and to know Brian, and it makes my life better because I know Brian, not for who Brian is or what Brian is creating or what Brian is doing, but like I get to know Brian because of who Brian is. And like, some of it's messy, but actually that's called humanity. Like, I can actually relate if people are messy. I can't relate if you're perfect. Like, that's just not real.
Yeah.
You know, so I think when it all said and done, I hope that when it's all said and done, just be like, yeah, Amos just saw me. He saw me, and he was just a safe place to just, you know, just be there. Like, not fancy, not over the top, not whatever, but just, yeah, he just saw me. I think, I don't know. That's
awesome.
That's literally all I think.
I
Doesn't
think
need to
it's
be
great.
Fancy, doesn't have to be great. Like,
No, I think it's beautiful, and I think if you kick the bucket today, it could be said. So you're on the path.
oh man,
Hopefully you don't
that
kick
would
the
be
bucket.
awesome. Thank you. I hope so. That would be sick. Yeah.
No, kicking
I'm
the
trying-
bucket's bad. You don't want to kick the bucket today.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't want to die. No.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, man. This was great. You're great.
Oh, thanks for letting me play with you guys and come hang out and chill. Yeah.
This could be a regular thing.
It could be a regular thing. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it.
It's a good excuse to hang out too.
Yeah. Let's do it. Cool.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brian Jackson with Mighty Missouri Coffee. With me is Nolan Johnson with Quantum Digital. So if you like how this sounds and looks, thanks to Quantum Digital, if you like the way that this smells and tastes, that's thanks to Mighty Missouri Coffee. Coffee to your door, mightymissouri.com.